Well, I'm going to start a little bit early since Jack said he's got another engagement afterwards. So I want to make sure he gets his presentation in for everybody this evening. A couple of quick announcements. LARC Fest, April 2nd. So mark your calendars. If you can volunteer, please send an email to larkfest@w0eno.org and let Dick know that you're willing to help out. Another event, if any people are interested, they're still looking for helpers up in Netherlands this weekend for the Frozen Dead Guy Festival. They got opportunities on, I think, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if you'd like to go up there. That so much is not a net, it's more of a dispatch type. It's a little bit different scenario, but they're using ham radio operators to help with it. So I'm going to go check it out. I'll be out there Friday night. But if you want to come out and learn something new and have some fun on the radio, you're more than welcome to. They're looking for some extra help as well. And we have a testing session on Sunday, which is a VE Patriot testing session. So it's free. But if you got to go online and sign up for it, if you want to upgrade your ticket or you know somebody wants to get their ticket. Really quick, I got a couple of board members. Do any of you have anything you'd like to bring up this evening before we get started?
Good class, Chuck, on the tape measure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last weekend on Saturday, I held a tape measure building class for a 2-meter Yagis, and it was a blast. People had a lot of fun. I think there was like 17 of us. We ranged from 1.8 to 1.2 SWR after we got them all built, and hopefully people are going to be using them to get on nets and feature fox hunts and satellite tracking and things like that. So it was a good time. We actually have some extra parts where we're going to be able to, it's going to be like 12 or 13 extra ones that we're going to sell at the Ham Fest as kits that people can build. So I'm in the process of finishing that and crimping wire with SMA connectors on them. So I was doing that most of the day while I was working. Anybody got anything else? All right, really quick, Jack, I need to make you a co-host here. So if you got anything you're going to present, you can do that then. All right, you're now a co-host, sir. Jack, KE0VH, is going to talk to us about the SkyHub connections out here in Denver and what's involved with that. So Jack, the floor is yours, and currently we have 26 participants that are watching, or 25 watching this evening. 26, kind of yourself.
Okay, thanks, Chuck, and it's good to see all you guys here, and good to see the club activity. And you know, once again, I'll just start off by saying we want to involve everybody who wants to be involved. And if you ever have any questions or comments or concerns or whatever the case may be, you can always email me. My email address is good@curez.com, of course. And SkyHub, let's talk about SkyHub Link. First of all, let me go ahead and share my screen. So we'll see if this comes up the way that I want it. And okay, and there. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay. So the SkyHub Link webpage, of course, skyhublink.com, if you want to follow along or just look along as I'm talking about. What SkyHub wanted to do from the very beginning, it was kind of the dream of me and Skylar, W0SKY. Skylar is a young man. He's 21. I met him when he was 15. I was actually his first ham radio contact, and this kid is a walking brain. Yeah, he is a walking Cray computer, I'll tell you. He just is absolutely amazing. He's already rising in the ranks of some of the jobs that he's doing, and he started experimenting with a Baofeng radio and a Raspberry Pi to try to make it do a ton of different things, primarily with All-Star in the beginning. And I met Skylar over the radio on the 449-450 Rocky Mountain Radio League repeater, and was his first contact. So I was always and still am very happy about that. But Skylar and I, over the years, we talked about, wouldn't it be neat if we could put 449-450 on the All-Star system, and that way it could be linked wherever. So we got together with Dunnigan, K1DUN, from the Rocky Mountain Radio League a few years ago. I don't know how long we've been doing this now, 4 or 5 years. And Dunnigan thought it was a great idea because 449-450 wasn't really as active as you'd like a repeater to be. And so we thought, we'll put it on All-Star. We'll link up with our friends, Carrie into K&K over on the Western Slope, and just see if we have some fun between both sides of the rock pile. So that was the actual beginnings of SkyHub Link. And we started doing that Monday night net, and we had some people participating, and it was really fun. And then we had some other folks join us, say, well, we have an All-Star connection. Can we be on SkyHub Link? And my good friend, Mark Thomas in Zero XRX is the VP of IP stuff for the Denver Water organization here in Denver. And they actually had a amateur radio club, and they were running one Fusion Wires X repeater. And Skylar and I started talking about, well, how can we join the All-Star to digital? And so we came up with the idea of putting a YSF repeater, the Yaesu Fusion, but that's a whole nother discussion that I'll touch on when we have time. And thought about putting that up on Lookout Mountain and giving us a digital repeater to connect into all this. And it essentially has just exploded and grown from there. We've had people such as Dave in 0KM down in the San Luis Valley. You know, they're very isolated down there. They have a really good club, but, you know, they're just not getting a lot of repeater use. And so Dave wanted to link in. So now we have the San Luis Valley covered, and we had other people, you know, we've even got Richard, VE5RH up in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, who found out that we were running a Wires X connection into the system. And he changed his repeater call sign over to VA5SKY, and he's on every day from Saskatoon. We've got another linked repeater that was getting absolutely no use in the Rockland, California area. And Jeff, AK60K, and I got together on that. We linked him in. So if you go to the status page here, and I'll do that real quick, of skyhublink.com, this is a live look. Oh, there's somebody keying up on the digital side. There's Kellyville Ridge, New South Wales, Australia. Robert down there connects into us all the time. We've got full-time repeaters that are on the SkyHub Link full-time listed on the repeaters page. So if I go back up here, this page is just freakingly huge. Keeping up with it is really almost a full-time, part-time job. But all of these repeaters are linked into SkyHub Link full time, and it starts with the very first one, 449-450. And all of you guys, of course, are probably familiar with 449-450 up on what used to be Squaw Mountain. Now it's Mesta Ahehe, which I think means owl woman in the Cheyenne Indian language. And so on and so forth, and down the list we go, and it just goes on and on and on at this time. So SkyHub Link again is a whole group of systems and repeaters and operators and repeater owners who just want activity on their repeaters, and two, want to be part of the bigger system. Skylar and I have joked many times that, you know, eventually SkyHub Link would like world domination. No, not really, as far as that goes. But what we want to provide is a good, solid, stable communication system that no matter where you are, you can talk back to your friends in Colorado or wherever they may be on the system. And of course, SkyHub Link is reachable by hotspot through either the YSF reflector or DMR. no matter where you are, that there's internet. So if you're going to go to Hawaii, as a matter of fact, one of our guys right now, Russell K9, K9 BYU, is in Athens, Greece, and he's been checking into SkyHub Link via his hotspot. And you know, a lot of people will say, well, that's not real radio. Well, why not? You're getting on repeaters. Think of it as a long microphone cable. So, you know, the bottom line of that is we want to be here for everybody to help keep in touch with each other, for everybody to be able to make new friends and keep up with old ones. And we especially want to welcome new amateurs. And we seem to be getting 2 or 3 new guys a week that are coming into to SkyHub Link, and you know, are making friends and getting on. Nathan is a prime example. N7NFG. He is a 14-year-old ham who sounds like he's got a 35-year-old disc jockey radio voice, which is really, and I'm a disc jockey of 30 years, and my voice is not near as good as his. So, you know, we've had all kinds of wonderful things happening because we've got all these linked repeaters. And so normally a repeater that's sitting there and is a standalone and is not getting used is all of a sudden, you know, it's got traffic on it every day. And, you know, SkyHub Link, while somewhat busy, it's not that busy that it's just annoying, because if something is just constantly going on, well, then, you know, it's going to get a little annoying maybe sometimes. But we are getting a lot of use and a lot of new people. And to me, that's what it's all about. The more, the merrier. And anybody who wants to join in the system can. Let's say, for instance, you guys wanted to put one of your repeaters on SkyHub Link. Well, bottom line is your repeater. You can put it on or you can take it off as you see fit. We do like to ask that those who want to, you know, kind of stick around a little more often, you know, would homeroom on SkyHub Link. That way it's there, you know, for whoever might want to use it at the time, or if you want to talk to somebody in Pueblo or Grand Junction or wherever the case may be. But it's your repeater. Many of our guys will, for instance, and a good one for that is the Park County Amateur Radio Club with their repeater AE0, I forget their call sign, in Bailey, but they disconnect during most of our nets because a lot of times they have another net going on at that time, but then later they'll pop back on. As a matter of fact, they will be on tonight again after the digital learning net that's going on SkyHub Link right now. So that is a real quick overview. Any questions or comments before I continue? Okay, the status page on skyhublink.com gives you really access to just about everything, with the exception of the Wires X repeaters. We haven't really found a good way to integrate an actual visual on those yet, but that's going to be a continuation. We have access to the Wires X repeaters that are on, and we've got them in Pueblo and Colorado Springs, up in Laramie and Cheyenne. They're right over you on Mount Milner in the Loveland area. We've got 3 out on the Eastern Plains that are part of another group. Bill, KD0OXW, put his 3 Wires X repeaters on SkyHub Link out on the Eastern Plains. You know, so a lot of people have joined in on that as well. And they enjoy the nets. They enjoy the friendship and the camaraderie. We've got the weather net that's on at 1 o'clock every day. And then Gary will come back on at 4 o'clock to give a wrap up synopsis of the day for about 5 minutes, or if there's something serious going on. We have the ability to join different repeaters in different areas for severe weather watches that may be going on, or tornado chasing, or whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of versatility within all these repeaters that you see here. And this is just the analog all-star. This is just the analog all-star page. And you can see people come in through Echolink as well on that. So let's see, where did I want to go from here? Oh yeah, so up here on the status page, you can click here and you can see the YSF reflector status and other people that may be coming in digitally through the system. And let's see. Okay, currently transmitting. There it comes. So this is actually all, there we go. This is actually all the different, well, it scooted down the page on me. Let me go back up. These are all the hotspots at this moment that are on SkyHub Link. Can I move this? Oh yeah, I can move that over there. I'm gonna move that there just so you can see the time and whatnot. So as we go on down through here, you can see, I don't know where K5ZIA is or W6 Delta Sugar there. There's my YSF link, which we use to link the Wires X repeaters, and I'll explain this more in a minute, with the rest of the system. It's actually a radio link that I run here in my house. K5JNT, that's my buddy Stan down in Mississippi. N1ROG is Roger down on the east side of Colorado Springs. AJ6PB is my good friend David out in California. It's same with N6JER. And so these are all guys with hotspots that are linked into SkyHub Link right now, live as we speak. So you can see over here, these are the last queries. Yep, see, it just updated to 9/12 that the system did with all those hotspots. And down here is just activity that's going on at the moment. And you can see my node radio right now is transmitting from the All-Star side to the Wires X side of the repeaters. And once again, this is all Skylar's doing in here, guys. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. So it's pretty cool, the different things you can look at. If we go back, let's see, this thing's in the way. Let me go here. Okay, there is the YSF dashboard. That the YSF system is what links the rest of SkyHub Link through the hub, and I'll show you that in just a minute, with the Wires X. YSF and Wires X. Let's talk about that for just a minute. Fusion is Yaesu's marketing term for C4FM modulation. C4FM is just another digital modulation similar to DMR, and I don't know the FCC designator for that one, or standard analog. So YSF is Yaesu Fusion, but not in the fact that it uses C4FM, but this system was devised by a group of guys who wanted to be able to link the Fusion side of things with DMR or All-Star or whatever the case may be. So they're using the C4FM modulation technique with a hotspot or with some of their bridging systems. And a C4FM will talk to a Fusion Wires X repeater or a Fusion repeater. So, that's why the two systems can be linked. And that right now, as far as I know, is the only way to link Wires X with the rest of the amateur radio systems that are available. When you said, by the way, when you see, can you see SkyHub? Can you see enough detail on my screen there? Where it says that's where the analog side of things is coming in through the YSF system and hitting Wires X. And of course, if you're digital DMR or Fusion Wires X, then your call sign is going to come across here, like you see Bucky W0SUN on there right now. I don't have the radio turned on, but if I turned it up, we'd hear him talking because he's doing the digital learning net at the moment. Wires X, is there a difference between Fusion and Wires X, or what is it? Wires X is simply Yaesu's marketing name again for the method of linking their repeaters over the internet digitally. And it's very proprietary. They don't let any of that go. So you can't really do with Wires X what you can do your own self with DMR or with All-Star. Their stuff is all proprietary. So the only way to link those together, once again, that I'm aware of anyway, is by using the YSF system. And if we go to my next page that I want to bring up here, how do I get rid of this? Because it's making it where I can't click my tabs. Oh, okay, that'll work. Let's see, let's go back up here and come here. I'm in the process of updating this right now, but this gives you, this is not the best picture in the world. I'm in the process of actually making it a little bigger and a little sharper. But this essentially shows you how our system works, how SkyHub Link works with the various different modes. So of course, you've got your internet globe here in the middle, and down right here is the SkyHub Link server that is running the software that integrates all of these systems and then goes out to the All-Star system, the YSF system, D-Star. We're on D-Star, Echolink, DMR, and IRLP all come through and are integrated in this hub server, which actually resides down at the Denver Water headquarters in downtown Denver. And so all of that there then comes out to the rest of the system, and these different colored lines are represented here. Green is direct linked over the internet, red is All-Star linked, blue is Wires X, and orange is YSF. You'll see the only orange system though is over here at my house. So what happens is through the hub system, it comes to my house here at the internet, and it goes to this Raspberry Pi, to this node radio, and then is linked through the YSF link, which is once again C4FM modulation, to the 448-350 Wires X Fusion repeater here in Lakewood. And then that comes back and links into the rest of the Wires X system. So it pulls in any and every Wires X repeater back in through the YSF link, and then back through the internet, through my internet to the hub. And that's where it gets crazy. You know, Jeremy W0JRL and Skylar W0SKY are the ones that keep all this hub link service going on. And it really is nothing more than one of these small form Dell computers that aren't much bigger than that. And I can't remember the name of the software. They've started doing something new with that. So that diagram, and if you look at it, you'll be able to see it a lot better on your computer screen. But that diagram gives you, and is by no means representative of how many different systems may be linked in at one time. As a matter of fact, like I said, I'm redoing that, but still there's so many, you're not going to be able to represent them all. So let me move this back up out of the way. And tells you the different ways to come into the system, the different links. Wires X is SkyHub Link 46361, Wires X Room 46361. The YSF reflector, we're on P25, Echolink, IRLP, D-Star. We're now on the Ham Shack hotline too. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Ham Shack hotline, but it's a VoIP telephone system. And once again, you can dial up 94073 on your Ham Shack hotline, which you can also use to take regular phone calls. You can have your cell phone forwarded to it if you want it. And it acts as a regular telephone over the VoIP system. We've just added M17 here lately too. And using the DroidStar software on your cell phone, once again, you have another access into SkyHub Link just by using the DroidStar software. And so again, think of it as a long microphone cable. You're getting into the repeater system and going out over all the repeaters over the air by being able to do that. Will they have M17 radios one day? Who knows? But Skylar already has dreams of having the first M17 repeater up, and we've got a place to do that if and when we ever get to the point of needing to do it with a radio. If you go to the coverage page, this shows you right now, let me get this where I want it. This shows you right now, all with the except, well, Saskatchewan's not in there. We need to update that. But these are all the full-time repeaters, and we're also missing the one in Scott City, Kansas, down in here. That are on SkyHub Link at the moment. The greens are analogs, the reds are digital fusion or YSF, and the blue one here in the middle, that's my buddy Andre N0SWE. And while his repeater is not full-time on SkyHub Link, it's linkable. And he says anytime that you're driving through this area, feel free to link back into SkyHub Link, and we have people do that. There's also a joined repeater on that in Aspen. It falls under the same guise as that. So as you can see, we're almost covering the entire state. We're actually working on filling in this area over here around the Nuclear Natarita area. We've got really good coverage up in the Steamboat area. There's Steamboat. With the YSF Digital, we're going to have an analog repeater that the club up there is going to join up with us. We're hoping this year that we'll be able to get that done when the snow melts. Danny in Zero PRG out in Craig has us on a DMR and a YSF repeater out there. So, that's kind of what we're looking at coverage. Now, you see a lot of duplicate coverage, obviously, here in this area. And, the deal with that is, well, one repeater might be down. So there's another one to cover it in different modes to be able to cover it. We really can't see the DMR coverage here because it would be in red as well, because it's got, I don't think Skylar put that one on there. It's supposed to put that one on there because it would be on Guy Hill there. Anyway, so that's we've actually got some stuff we have to add in soon. We just added the Scotts Bluff repeater up here. Larry KC0WVE runs that repeater. And the nice thing about this is we have total. Okay, yeah, he's got the DMR repeater down there. We've got just about total state coverage. So no matter where you go, you'll be able to talk back into Denver pretty well. We're also working on possibly a Salt Lake City repeater. We've got the Socorro machine down here, and some guys in Albuquerque are talking to us about an Albuquerque repeater. So that's that part of the presentation to start with. Any questions or comments?
And everybody's muted, so if you want to ask a question, just unmute yourself. But yeah, that's interesting how far he's gotten. And I know you're doing other countries as well, right, Jack? There's other countries that are connected to the link system as well.
Yeah, we get regular guys checking in from Japan. Tony, EI7BMB, is pretty much a regular on SkyHub Link a lot of mornings, which is afternoon for him there. During our Monday night and even the other nets, we've got guys checking in from, who knows where. So, you might be monitoring the system at 10 o'clock one night and hear Hero in Japan. What is this called? I forget his call sign now. JA6 something. But anyway, there's that. And another very important thing here, and I want to stress this. There's almost always somebody listening to SkyHub Link. I know there's a group of guys that are there even in the middle of the night a lot of times. And the thing that I told my wife one day, I said, someday somebody's going to call for help on this system, and somebody's going to be able to respond, even if they're on the other side of the state or in Saskatchewan or California or wherever, and it's going to save a life. I know that's going to happen one day. And, that's the other beauty of this linked repeater system. And, not everybody can do HF, and not everybody can put up antennas and so on and so forth. So while this brings me to another important point, while it's not any kind of, replacement for HF as far as that goes, it's just another system. It's just another access point. It's just another way to be able to talk to people and make friends, call for help if you need it. And, we want to be here for that. Frankly, the more the merrier. Whoever wants to join on, even if it's just for one of our nets, that sort of thing, they're all welcome, and we're super glad to have them. And all they have to do is get in touch with me and let us know, and we'll let others know that that they're out there. So let me see one other thing. So yeah, I wanted to mention that we're, working on our 501c3 status. That's going to enable SkyHub Link to actually become available for some grants from some of these entities that hand out a lot of money to amateur radio. And we're not competing. For instance, the RM Ham group and the Colorado Connection, we mentioned them earlier. We're just a complement. It's just another group of, another way to get in touch with people. It's all part of amateur radio. We're not competing. We're not trying to do that in any form or fashion. RM Ham is doing an amazing, wonderful job with their DMR system. It is closed as far as that goes, meaning you can't connect to it externally through Brandmeister, DMR, or whatever the case may be. It's a closed system. It's a wide area coverage system, but it's closed. And I'm a Fusion guy. I'll aim my camera over here for a minute. I've got my FT991A over here, and I've got an FT3B handheld. I've got an FTM400 in the truck. Want to see where my truck is? Look up K0VH-2 on APRS. And where I've been this week, which is mostly Colorado Springs. I'm an engineer for K-Love Radio, so I travel all over the state and looking after broadcast transmitters. Where was I going with that? I forgot. But yeah, I'm kind of an all Yaesu shop myself. I do have an MD380 handheld for DMR and some other purposes, but I use Yaesu Fusion radios pretty much every day myself. I just find them easier to deal with. They're easy to front panel program. You know, you don't have to deal with a code plug. You don't have to plug a computer into them. I've just found that easier, and I really like the Wires X system and the way that it works there. One other thing I was going to say is the support page here on SkyHub Link. I've often thought that it might be a good idea to tell some ham clubs that if you have a certain project going on, you might try to raise funds for it, saying, you know what, we've got 20 members, we've got 30 members, and we need, to buy such and such, or whatever the case may be. What we'll do when we're trying to raise money for a project on SkyHub Link, and it's been very successful, and we're very grateful to those who have contributed. Our email list is 330 plus strong. So we needed $500 to be able to proceed with this 501c3 thing. So we essentially said, if 50 of you could give $10 to this project, then we'll be able to complete this particular project. Well, less than 2 hours later, it was done. It's a really, really good way for everybody to come together, for everybody to be a part, for everybody to once again feel like they're supporting the system. So you guys with clubs, I realize you might not have that many on your email page, but we are also willing to help out local clubs who are part of SkyHub Link, or even not. If there's anything we can do, we would certainly want to try to help you with something that might benefit the entire amateur radio community here in Colorado, especially since this is the home base. So that's kind of really it, guys, as far as a presentation on what SkyHub Link is, what it's all about, what it does, what we want to accomplish. I will say one more thing. We're trying to educate people too. We continue to update this section of the website under connections. And you see it says YSF, Wires X, Pi-Star, and DMR. We're going to continue to add to this. As a matter of fact, I've got a lot of material I want to put up on this part of the page, kind of teaching people how to do their hotspots, how to update their hotspots to the latest versions. So many different things that we have that we want to put on this web page. We want it to be kind of an information repository, as it were, too. So I wanted to show you that. Chuck, I think that's it. Steve, I think that's really all I have to present as far as that goes. That's what we do. That's what we're about. That's how we operate. So there you go.
All right, well, thank you very much, Jack. I actually have a question on the chat. I don't know if you're seeing the chat or not,
No.
but I'll read it out. Everybody said, years ago, I did some screen scraping of data out of old style computer screens. It didn't work very well because the screen apps were poorly disciplined and presented data in odd ways. It seems to me that all diverse analog and digital radio protocol never thought they would integrate with something else. So after you get the basics of this integration done, don't you find a lot of ill-mannered interfaces hard to integrate?
If I'm understanding that question correctly, there's not really that much problem with that. If I'm understanding the question correctly, the integration through the HubLink software is what I was trying to say. While it's difficult if you don't know and understand some Linux and I think it's based on Raspbian as far as that goes. That would be a Jeremy and or Skylar question. But they have been able to make it work and have been able to make it integrate. Boy, I'm getting my tang untangled here. And make it all come together. And frankly, it's been very reliable. Some of what we're finding is some of the biggest issues, though, is folks who are operating hotspots and not quite understanding exactly how the hotspots work and the best operating practices for them. For instance, the other day, last week sometime, we had somebody using a hotspot that they were using the node number instead of the room ID number on WiresX for the AmericaLink network on WiresX. And if you're familiar with that at all, AmericaLink is huge. All over the world, many, some, you know, if you look at how many people are connected to AmericaLink at any given moment, it's going to be 130 or more different nodes around the world connected into AmericaLink. And somebody, instead of using the room ID number, was using the node ID number. And if you read on the WiresX pages that Yaesu has, it can explain that in more detail. But what happened then is they bridged to SkyHub link. And we were getting this huge nonstop, not only looping, but everybody on AmericaLink, which is constantly busy, you know, it was over on SkyHub link. And so Steve, KD0SBN down at Pueblo, who is another one of our system integrators, he spent about an hour and a half trying to figure out, well, what's causing this? Why could we shut stuff down and couldn't get rid of AmericaLink? And so what ended up happening is he finally found that this node ID number was stuck in, and he went to the excuse me, the page for the SkyHub link room, which is housed on our 449625 repeater, and he essentially blocked that room, that node ID number, still leaving the AmericaLink room ID number. And that solved the issue. So in a roundabout way to answer the question, yes, some weird problems can crop up. And I do know that the guy who runs the AmericaLink WiresX server has had to shut it down, has had to block people from time to time because they don't operate those hotspots correctly. For one more, for instance, in that regard, is when you're using a hotspot to connect into SkyHub link, we ask that you do not engage the WiresX pass-through. What that enables you to do is with your Fusion WiresX radio, if you have the WiresX pass-through enabled in your Pi-Star, here, I'll show you this. If you have that enabled in your Pi-Star software, so let me go here. I knew it was going to ask me to log in, of course. I tell you, you're going to have a password to flush a doggone toilet someday. Let's see.
No, you just use your face. You know, just look at it.
Yeah, right. This is not going to be right. I've got so many passwords I got to keep up with. I can't keep up with them all. Let me try this one real quick.
That's the same problem.
This is actually our YSF dashboard for the Steamboat Springs YSF repeater. It wants me to log into. Let me look up that password and I'll show you. But what ends up happening is the WiresX pass-through in the configuration page. Let me find the stupid password. Sorry, guys, because this is an important part of operating a. Of course, I got to remember the password to get into my password keeper.
And a lot of people do use hotspots, especially for DMR and you know, D-Star, things like that.
What we ask people to do if they connect into SkyHub link, please do not use the YSF, and they'll ask you this on AmericaLink too. Please do not use the WiresX pass-through on that, because what happens is when you send, if you're connected to SkyHub link and you send your hotspot through the Pi-Star software to another reflector, well, that's going to possibly, and it has a lot, changed the YSF link on SkyHub link. Because they have not found a good way to isolate that just yet. I'm almost there. Hang on. I got to remember where I'm going. What am I doing?
Look up your password to get into this.
Yeah. Let's hope, right?
Uh,
Okay,
we
there it
can-
is.
And I have another question for you after you get through this too. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, my other question is the SkyHub server. Is
Yes.
that proprietary or is that
No.
something that they actually just kind of put together or?
I think originally it's based on the
Like asterisk or something?
yeah, on
Okay.
No, what did it just do? Okay, one more time. Yeah, it's based on asterisk and it's called HubLink, and I think they originally got it from HamVoIP, the
Okay.
HamVoIP website. It's advanced quite a bit since then. Let me try this. Hang on just a second. If not,
Yeah,
I've screwed up my login for this stupid thing, and that will eventually come back to bite me. So I'll have to fix that. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that's like I said, I've got so many of these doggone things that I gotta keep. There it is. That's the right one. Hey, it'll work this time, I promise. Watch me look real stupid.
You need a good password keeper.
I do. I use I'll tell you what I use here in just a minute. Hey, right on.
Looks like
Okay.
you got it.
So yeah, so if you come to the configuration page on your hotspot, you'll see this one's set up in YSF mode only. And yeah, there's where it's linked into SkyHub. So here's the Wires X pass-through button. If you're going to use the reflector to get into SkyHub Link with your hotspot, we ask that you change things here. If you want to change to another room, you know, if you want to change to these gajillion, God only knows how many rooms anymore, use your, use the pull down menu here, actually in your hotspot. Don't use your Wires X pass through, or you could very likely change stuff on SkyHub Link as well. And then Steve and I will be going, why are we not here in All-Star? Oh man, well, we got to get in here and figure out what's going on. Somebody's changed something.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah.
How hard is it to configure PyStar for both DMR and SkyHub? I have a SkyHub. I have a SkyBridge plus hotspot and a Anytone 878 DMR radio, and I'd like to be able to access SkyHub on YSF as well as analog.
Well, if Dave, if I understand what you're asking me correctly, you're wanting to be able to come in through your hotspot via DMR, a DMR radio,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's easy enough. You just set up your hotspot for DMR mode.
Yep.
And go through the setup on that, and you're going to put in talk group with, that'll change your configuration selection here to DMR. And you'll just look for talk group 310847, SkyHub Link, and you're coming through your hotspot on DMR that way. So yeah, that'll work just fine.
Okay.
Yep.
So Jack, nice presentation. If I'm understanding this correctly, and there's a possibility that I'm not, can you compare and contrast this to the capabilities of EchoLink and IRLP and AmericaLink, and maybe help us understand the difference?
Okay, so IRLP really is just the first, the first system that I'm aware of anyway. And I think EchoLink soon followed after. IRLP was made by Dave. I think his name was Dave. I can't remember. And I don't remember his call sign, but he also made it quite proprietary, that it wasn't very adaptable. And you had to buy his, I think he was selling his own, interfaces and the way to make all that work. And so, he saw it as, a great way to link across the world via amateur radio, but he was also using it, as I understand it, kind of as a business, which, who can fault him? If you come up with something and you think it'll help, why not, try to make a profit or whatever on it. Echolink is simply another group of people who got together and made a system of being able to link computers, not necessarily radios or repeaters, at least originally, but being able to use, computers to be able to do amateur radio. And then of course they linked it into repeaters, and I think didn't Kenwood try to pick up and run with Echolink a little bit in their radios. So, it's just another digital linking communications mode. All-Star is open. All-Star is not proprietary or trying to sell you something in any way. You can download the All-Star images and manipulate them there. Once again, you got to kind of know Debian and a lot more about, those Linux type things than I have a clue about. I tried to do Linux a while back and just could not make it do everything that I wanted it to do. So I fell back to Windows as far as that goes. Let's see, you asked also about, I will tell you one thing about Echolink. It's my least favorite of all those modes because the audio can really be difficult to make sound decent, even intelligible in some respects. Now granted, that's all some people's got, and more power to whoever invented that so that people who don't have access otherwise can do it. Glad to have it. But it's not my favorite, basically, because it just never sounds as good. People use their microphones on their computers, which don't necessarily, always sound that great, or maybe real muddy, or whatever the case may be. We've got a group on the East Coast Reflector, Do Drop In is the name of their group that gets in. And while most of them sound pretty good, some of them don't. And it just makes it, for a very difficult copy. So does that answer your question in that regard?
Yeah, it does. Can you include America Link in that?
Okay, well, America Link, once again, is just a room that's on the Yaesu Fusion Wires X system. SkyHub Link, room 46361, and America Link, room 21080, all the same thing. America Link just has a whole lot more people all over the world connected into it quite frequently. But then again, if you look at the current Yaesu Fusion Wires X rooms that are active, if you look up Wires X active nodes on the internet, there's so many that it makes my repeaters page on SkyHub Link look like half a page. It's just phenomenal how many different ones, how many different rooms and nodes are connected through Wires X that way. So America Link, once again, just another Wires X room, as is SkyHub Link's room 46361.
Thanks, Jack. Nice
Sure.
presentation. I enjoyed it.
Okay, sure. Glad to do it. Any other questions?
You got any questions for Jack?
No, by the way, Jack, check your email. I emailed you earlier with the copy of the splatter, of this month's splatter attached. So you should be getting that in your email shortly if you haven't already.
Okay, you know what? I'll it's in my junk mail for some reason. So I will move that out and go not junk. One last, I'll always trust that one. Okay, good.
That's because I've been sending out too many emails for LARC Fest, so things probably have us listed as junk now.
Yeah, I hear you. That one other thing, if you guys are interested in putting one of your repeaters on SkyHub Link, just let us know. We'll be happy to help you and happy to help you integrate that. How many repeaters is actually part of your club?
We have two. We have a UHF and VHF, and
Okay.
currently we keep them linked currently.
Linked together?
Yeah. Part of that is because of the coverage. Sometimes one's better than the other.
Sure, sure.
But yeah, That would be up to Mark, our technical chair. I don't know if he's still on or not, but we could definitely discuss something like that. We got all kinds of little things in the hamper that we're trying to get done and play with, and we have interconnection with Arnhem right now, so we could get on their backbone if we needed to, and things like that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And
I'm working with Colorado Connections for my SAN on the Air to try to cover the entire state of Colorado. Doing something like that as well over UHF, VHF analog. So there's a lot of things we got working on. So
yeah.
we try to stay a little busy club ourselves.
Sure. Well, once again, as you can see by the coverage map and the repeaters page and all that, SkyHub Link's kind of already there. And we're, I have to say, we're really a lot more accessible than, we're in a lot more areas as far as that part goes than Colorado Connection. Not trying to sound like a sales pitch or anything, but, if you wanted to bring those repeaters or one of them or whatever the case may be on the SkyHub Link, probably would be a pretty easy thing to do. We'd get in touch, have you guys get in touch with Skylar and Jeremy, and be able to set that up with probably nothing more than a node radio or even just a Raspberry Pi.
I'm sure we already have everything in place already because we're running Echo Link already.
Oh, okay.
So we've got Asterisk and all that. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a matter. We're still kind of in a discussion phase of what we want to cover and how we want to cover and things like that. So our repeaters aren't super busy, but they have gotten picked up over the last couple of years. We've got to challenge the club to get on the repeaters.
Yeah.
Talk to people, use them. We have them available for bee carers in case an Aries exercise or anything like that could potentially use them. We partner, OEM here in Longmont, so they're sit on the Justice Center in downtown Longmont. So we work with them, and actually the OEM management is a ham herself, so she's trying to get into the hobby more, but she's always busy. Things like that. So it's that's the one thing I love about this hobby. And I work in an IT field, and I work with software engineers, and they're like, well, isn't ham radio a bunch of guys drinking beer with a big mic talking to people around the world? I said, what if I told you the internet's involved or could be involved? They're like, what? And I do that with high school kids too. What, the internet's involved with ham radio? I'm like, oh yeah, come talk to me. We talk about Echolink, IRLP, what you're doing here with SkyHub Link. I mean, it's Fusion, DMR, all that stuff, using the internet as a backbone. And it tends to perk up the interest a little bit of some of the younger generation.
Yep.
Like Skylar.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, like Nate and several others.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. If I could be of any service, you have any more questions, don't hesitate to call me. Be happy to, even have you call me on the phone or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you
guys.
very much. I'll add you to our mailing list, so you'll get the splatter every month from us. Anybody else got any other questions really quick before Jack leaves?
Hey, Jack, thanks. This is Steve. Glad I found you. And I'm glad you could give us a presentation this month to the club, and wish you well. Thank you.
Yep, Steve, thank you. And again, guys, with your club, serving the community is number one. And when you hear those young hams on the air, make an effort to get on and welcome them in and tell them all about ham radio and your club and everything that has to do with it. Super important, because, we're all going to die off eventually, guys, like it or not.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And we gotta bring some other folks in. So
Trust
thanks a
me,
lot.
that's one thing I'm working on. So
Yeah.
Thanks
73, Jack.
thanks, Jack.
You bet.
Take care,
Thanks,
sir.
guys.
73. So has anybody else got anything else they want to bring up on the meeting this evening? Anything?
Did Chuck get on to hear this at all?
Did who?
Brian,
No, he's still in El Paso.
he's still in
so-
El Paso? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cat's
he
on.
wasn't able to get on tonight. Do you need to get a message to him?
No, Kat, I'm just wishing well. I know he's on that technical end with, you know, with our technical chair there. So, you know, that would be some good stuff to think about for the future.
Mark
Yeah,
was
he'll be
listening.
listening to this.
Yeah, especially when he fixes the recording, and puts it on YouTube, which he does
Yeah.
for us, by the way. So Brian stays busy. Kat and Brian are probably, you know, and I always thank him all the time, and I'm going to thank him again. They're working in the background. You know, they are giving blood, sweat, and tears for this club, and we appreciate it. You know, the splatter will not happen without Kat, and she's taking it from a, you know, couple of pages to what we're up to, 30 something pages now, Kat. Keep adding
It
to it.
was 35 last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did everybody
Well,
get theirs?
I had a couple of pages in there myself in an article, so
That's what we need. Input from articles from all of you guys.
yes. And if you want an article put in there, no matter what it is, get it to Kat. She's always looking for stuff for the splatter. So
Yeah,
get your name out there.
she's the one that had those classes, she and her husband, Brian, that
Oh, Ed,
Yeah.
Ed, yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably start teaching up again after he gets back. He's gone for a few more months though.
Good.
He's taking
But he
care of
does-
his parents.
But he does get
Yeah,
on the Hamlet net on Tuesday nights via Echo
Yeah.
Link. So
Hey, Chuck, I'm gonna shout out kudos to Mark with our RM Ham. There was a word presentation given to Mark. So
oh yeah, thank you, Steve. I forgot about that. Congratulations, Mark. That was what was that? Ham of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's see.
Our
yeah,
own technical chair. Look at that.
Yeah, I didn't know that was, let's see if I can see. I didn't know that was, yeah, maybe you can see it.
It kind of blocks out the background thing, but yeah,
So,
congratulations.
yeah, that definitely surprised me. So,
Well,
Appreciate
well
it.
deserved. Well deserved, sir.
so there we go.
And that's from ARL too, isn't it?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Thanks.
Mark keeps all the technical stuff working. So, you know, again, this is not our club. This is your club. Like I keep saying. So, if you have any ideas or anything you like to do, like W70EM Ed's going to put a class together for us here on For Too Long. I did the tape measure class. I've had suggestions for other classes, which I appreciate, but I'm really looking for people to help run those too. So, you know, unfortunately, I'd love to teach them all. I just don't have the time. And some days, to be honest, I don't have the energy either.
Wait till you get old.
Yeah. I'm getting older every day, Kat.
Hey,
I feel
Chuck.
older than I am. But, you know, that tape measure thing was a lot of work. I cut all the pipe and everything, and Don shaking his head, he was there. So, and things like that. I mean, I tried to do as much as I could, but we also had a lot of fun and was careful not to cut ourselves. We have one injury. Well, we had one incident during the whole event. We had one of the soldering irons landed on one of the other soldering irons temperature control and melted the plastic on it.
Ouch.
So somebody's like, something smells like it's burning. And looked over there. Yeah, soldering iron was burning through the plastic of one of my other ones for the controller. Still works. You can see the circuit board now, but it still works.
Better
Hey,
a
so,
soldering iron than a person.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, I did put in the instructions, wear gloves, you know, glasses, things like that. I didn't want pieces of metal flying at people, things like that. But we will try to do more of that in the future as much as we can. That type of stuff is not going to happen every month. It's just a lot of work unless somebody else wants to step up and do it, or multiple people do it. We got no problem with that as well. With that said, also, if you know somebody that would like to do a presentation, please talk to them. Let's get them on our schedule. Steve got Jack today. I have gentleman's name's Frank. I don't know his call sign off the top of my head. I think it's Frank or George for Mars, which is the military amateur radio service. We'll be presenting next month. So that should be an interesting topic, which in the 5 years I've been here, I've never heard a presentation about Mars. So hopefully everybody will attend for that. Again, LARC Fest, get a hold of Dick. If you can help, we're looking for volunteers, people to help run the table because we're gonna have stuff for sale. You know, let us know where you can help. We would appreciate it. This is a lot of work. You got some kids that you want to slave out to us, we'll take them too. We'll put them to work. I don't care who we take, you know. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And if you need any SMA connectors put onto coax, let me know. I've become very good at it now. Don's laughing because we had a hard time doing that at the event, but I just did. I've gotten, I think, 9 done today, Don, for extenders for the antennas we're selling. So, and yes, males are easier than female SMA connectors, so I'm sticking with all male. So yeah, think about it. Let us know. You know, we're here. Remember the net on Thursday night, along with the Hamlet net on Tuesday nights. And anybody got any questions or comments before we wrap it up this evening?
Hey,
Yeah, Chuck, this is Chuck. This is Rich. I'm a brand new
Yeah.
tech. Used to be
Oh,
a novice.
congratulations, Rick.
And so where do I go to get the equipment if I want to set up my own antenna and so forth? Where do you go for cable and for connectors? You guys have a local source? I'm here in Loveland.
Well, our ham radio outlet in Denver, HRO.
Okay.
Or to be honest, if you want a little bit cheaper, order it online. There's plenty of places
Amazon.
online.
Or you go to
And-
HRO.
Well, you go to HRO online. Usually they'll ship the next day, but they'll charge you shipping. But
Okay.
there's other places online you can get it from. Believe it or not, you get a lot of stuff at Amazon too. Do be careful. And really look over the description if you order from Amazon. I ordered some RG58. We thought it was solid center core. It was twisted pair, which is really a pain to put into small SMA connectors. So I did order some new stuff, Don, and it got the right stuff this time.
Okay. And what do you guys recommend for about a 30-foot run up to a 2-meter antenna on my roof from the old ham shack I'm trying to build up?
You could probably for 30, if it's only 30 feet, buy something that's already pre-made. And like I said,
Okay.
you could get some on Amazon, HRO, have it shipped, DX Engineering, Gigaparts.
Okay, cool.
PL 259 connectors.
And to be
Yeah.
honest with you, Rich, come to the
Pardon me?
Ham Fest. Come to the Ham Fest, and you can probably pick some up there.
That's cool.
Because
That's
people
April
sell
2nd?
April 2nd. Because people sell some of their extra wire.
Okay.
Sometimes I know Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club at one point had some extra wire. Actually, they had the big solid stuff. So I think they were selling it at I don't know, it was $1 a foot or something at one point. Which you really
Where's
don't
it gonna
need
be
for
held?
2 meters.
Where's that ham fest held?
It's at the Boulder County Fairgrounds in
Boulder
Longmont.
County Fairgrounds. Gotcha. In Longmont.
Yeah.
Right on.
Let's go to that.
Yep. And it'll be April
Thanks, guys.
2nd from 9 to 1. So Rich, welcome to our meeting.
Yeah,
Appreciate you
thanks.
showing up. And are you a member of either club by any chance?
I've joined the LARC, so I'm a
Okay, you
LARC
did.
member.
Good.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
just
We
got my
appreciate that.
test just a couple, 3 weeks ago. So just got my brand new call sign, getting my feet wet, and am overwhelmed. I need an
Yeah.
Elmer.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what? We have an email address, elmer@w0uno.org.
Okay.
There's about 7 of us that monitor that email. So if you have a question,
Mhm.
please don't hesitate to send us an email. Sometimes we have people that'll actually say, hey, I'll start working with you directly, you know.
Yeah.
Dick likes to work with people directly as well. He's
Okay,
Elmered
cool.
he's Elmered several folks in the club and people outside of the club as well. So
Good stuff. Well, I appreciate it.
and we also have our Hamlet net on Tuesday nights at 7. And then we have a regular rag chew Hamlet or a regular chew net that I call it rag chew net on Thursday nights at 8. And Jerry, N0OUW, is the net controller for that one. I'm the net control for the Hamlet net on Tuesday nights. And since I have everybody here, if you haven't heard, I have a challenge out to everybody, whether you're a club member or not. If you play net controller 5 times during the year of 2022, I will buy you a year membership to the club for 2023. So, and that's either net, whether it's Jerry's net on Thursday nights or mine on Tuesday nights. Because I know Jerry would appreciate some net controllers as well, because he likes to take a break every so often, and the wife probably likes to see him every so often on Thursday night instead of in front of the radio. So keep that in mind. I've had a couple people that are working towards it. I got a couple that's got 2 already towards the list. Still got time during the year to do it. You know, you got an opportunity of, you know, about 8 times a month to run a net. You can do it all in one net in 1 month if you really wanted to. So keep that in mind and remember that. As always, everybody, you know, you can get a hold of me anytime at k0itp@w0uno.org for any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions. You know, we do our best to, I do my best to answer emails as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, there's only 24 hours in a day and not 72 hours in a day. Otherwise, I get more accomplished. So
Thanks, Jack.
you're very welcome.
So Chuck, did you say that you use RG58 for 2 meters?
No, you could.
I'm
But
not challenging, I'm just questioning, I'm asking.
That's what we're using on the our Yagi antennas.
Okay,
It's RG58.
all right, thanks.
And
Yeah,
you
I'm-
saw we got between 1.8, 1.2 SWR. So
Yeah,
I mean, I probably wouldn't use it on a at a full 50 watts. I mean, you could, but you know, they recommend. It all depends. You could use pretty much anything. It all depends on potential of interference and, you know, make sure it's insulated well and what's around you. And there's so many different variables. You know, I've
Gotcha.
got some RG8 running outside. I've got some, I use 58 for like my tape measure Yagis that I use for satellite tracking.
yeah.
Because if it's ruined in 6 months, I don't care. It wasn't super expensive.
What do you
Things like
guys
that.
recommend for lightning suppression from that 2-meter antenna?
You know, that is that's been a topic of discussion on several occasions.
My recommendation is get Ward's book. He just got the new edition out on bonding and grounding, and he's got a lot of information in there. I
Okay.
kind of like the polyphaser, but there's a couple of different brands out there. And as
Okay.
far as the coax, it kind of depends on the length of your run too. But if you're doing 2 meter 440 for short runs, you probably could get by with RG8X. But for a little bit more, I use the LMR 400 Ultra Flex, which is not much bigger than the 8X, but it's got less loss.
That's what I use for HF. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Right? Any other questions? We just turned this into a Hamlin net.
What's wrong with that?
Not a thing. Not a thing, David.
Hey Chuck, about the April grant stuff. I don't know if we talked about that in the previous month's meeting, but just it's come to mind.
I have mentioned it. Just so everybody knows, the ARL, in association with ARDP, I believe is their acronym, is giving clubs who request it grants up to $25,000 to work on things and things like that. We brought it up at our board meetings. We are potentially going to send a request for a grant to do a couple things. Like I know we need some batteries for our club, but they're looking for more things to help with the community and stuff like that. So one of the things that I'm working on is I went to go talk to the Innovation Center with the St. Vrain School District in Longmont. They got that nice building over there off of, I think it's Quail, over by the rec center off of 287. And we're trying to work with and I've got a couple other people helping me as well, is try to do a partnership with the St. Vrain School District and either do it as a partnership, not necessarily maybe a club, but more of a partnership. So we would potentially maybe use some of the money for that to get them started, get more radios on the air, get more kids on the air, things like that. So we got a bunch of ideas in the hopper. And so hopefully, you know, we're looking at maybe doing something like that and give back to the community and also improve our communications as well. And also we have apparel, as you can see that Steve's wearing. So I'm surprised Steve didn't talk about it. You're on mute, Steve.
Ed's got it on too.
Yeah, Ed's got it on.
There
I
we
didn't wear
go.
mine tonight. I'm a bad board member.
I'm buying some hats with some patches, and then we're going to go sell them at our LARC Fest. So as you can see, it's got the patch on the front, it's got the logo. You turn it around, and it's got your call sign.
Yeah.
So it's really, really sweet. One of the
He's got
other board
his.
members, Ed, he's wearing a jacket. Show him the jacket, Ed. Yeah, it's got a patch on the front, and on the other side, it's got the name and call on your other chest
Yeah.
there. It's a fleece, I think, right, Ed?
Yes, very warm. Yes.
So
Do we have any stickers that are like, like the patch except for a sticker, or do we have the ability to get
don't.
that?
I've been looking into that. One of my things, my to-do list, is we have one of the largest sticker manufacturers in the world right here in Longmont, Sticker Giant. And I'm gonna go talk to them and see if we can work out something and see what we can do there. I just haven't had a chance to get over it, but it's on my to-do list. But I would love to get stickers just like our patches.
Yeah.
And, for the longest time, I know we had the same patch for a long time, but Steve's got what you can order. It's also on the website. You can order online.
In the
Or
splatter.
it shows you how
also.
to order.
yeah,
online.
it's in this
And
splatter.
splatter. I think we finally have when I came in 5 years ago, there was discussion about, the logo and everything else. And we changed the logo. And I think we got it to the point where I think everybody seems to really like our logo. So now we can start really, doing merchandising stuff. I'm gonna go work on stickers. I would love to get a bumper sticker made with our logo on and says, honk if you're a ham, or, something like that, things like that, or, proud to be a ham or whatever.
My wife's a ham.
I wish my wife was a ham.
Ham it up.
So, things like that. So I'm gonna go talk to them and see what, maybe they can cut us a deal as a nonprofit as well and a local company. So, like I said, it's on my to-do list that I've personally taken on. I just haven't had time to do it yet.
You guys got some ideas, send them along to me. You can find my email on the splatter and on the webpage. I'm looking for ideas. So if you guys have got some ideas, pass them my way.
I know we're losing people because it's getting late, but really quick, April, we do have the Ham Fest. I'm going to try to also put another fox hunt together in April, in later April. But this time the fox hunt will be with rubber duckies and DYI antennas only. There you go, Don. So Don could use that. That was the ones we made on Saturday. I think you came in. Did you test yours, Don? For SWR?
Yeah, I came in at 1.7.
1.7. Okay.
Yeah, do a little adjusting to it.
Yeah. We like I said, the lowest we had was 1.2 and the highest was 1.8. So everybody did really well on building these, and me building 4 or 5 of them already. I know what causes high SWR, so I know how to fix it pretty quick. But so yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'm hoping to pull that off at the end of April, another fox hunt. And like I said, we're gonna DYI, rubber duckies, and I might allow the signal stuff too, because that's kind of a homemade 3D printer type thing that is made from the guys out in I think they're made in Utah. So, but I'll have to think about it whether I'm going to allow that or not. So, all right. Well, thank you everyone again. Hope everybody enjoyed the presentation. It's been another great month. Now we just got to get ready for Hamfest, make it successful, since we haven't had one in 2 years. And just so you know, Northern Colorado had about 300 and I think a little over 300 people show up to their Hamfest in January. ARA did almost 500 in February. So people are wanting to get out. They're wanting to socialize. They're willing to pay the money to even just go see what's out there. So I'm hoping, ideally, I would love to see 400 to 500 people show up to our Hamfest, and I think it can be done. Keep an eye out on the billboards on 119 as you go east and west over by the Mountain View Fire Station over in that area, and also the billboards on I-25 at 119. You should see a advertisement for our Hamfest coming up, probably starting this weekend. I was going to do it for about 2 weeks out. I'm putting an ad up there.
Cool.
So it's not going to be, all the time, but at least it'll give us a little bit more publicity. So it's costing me a couple bucks. So a company called Blip, and you pay by the blips. So, and they're 8-second blips. So I figure, what the heck, throw something at it and see if we can get a couple more people maybe interested in, at least maybe not have heard about it. So thank you, everyone. If nobody's got anything else, I'll say 73. Have a great evening. Be safe, and we'll meet again next month.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Chuck. Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you.
Check.
Hey, Kat,
Yes.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's hard. If you need anything while Brian's out of town, let me know. And if I can help you, I will.
I will do that. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Feel better, Kat.
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh,
Brian's parents are in trouble
Yeah.
right now.
yeah.
So he's down there helping his parents.
Wow.
And Kat, just so you know, I
Uh-huh.
talked to Roland,
Uh-huh.
and you remember that discussion we had about helpers for teaching?
Yes.
He said he might be interested in helping with that as well.
Great.
So,
Okay.
and I know he would probably be somebody that you'd like to have help you as well. Because like I said,
Yeah,
we get
that'd be
him and
great.
Cameron, myself. You guys don't have to do it all yourself then.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get those classes going pretty soon.
Yeah, and like I said, whatever I can do to help with that as well, I'm around. And other things as well. So,
Okay. Yeah, we've had a
Ready?
lot going on in our schedules right now, so.
yeah, I between my regular job and Hamfest, I am losing my mind. Like I said, I sent out
Alright.
over 700 emails today. So,
Holy cow.
yeah. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
73, and we'll see you on the air.
Okay.
Right.
Or you don't want to say the word BOM,
Yeah.
bill of material.
Well, I can tell you some stories about the old Stapleton when I was still working as a screener in back in the early 90s. I miss Stapleton. That was a good airport. Outdated, but good.
And Jack, if I remember, you said you have an obligation at 8 o'clock, so we will try to get you on sooner than later, sir.
No worries. I'm standing by.
Yeah. I'll just make a couple of quick announcements and then we'll get started tonight.
Hey, Chuck, you may want to remind Jack about some of our Santa on the air at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe we can use Jack's help with some SkyHub link.
Absolutely.
I'm working on Colorado connections first. And once I get with them, me and Doug Sharp have been talking. And yeah, I definitely will give you a call also and see how far we can make this go, because my Send on the Air has been pretty popular. We're getting a lot of publicity the last couple of years. So especially since we're doing it over, UHF, VHF, and repeaters instead of doing it over HF. So
What might be interesting is to see if we could join SkyHub Link and the CallCon together.
that would be cool.
I would love that.
I'll
Speaking
talk
of
to Mr. Sharp.
Speaking of which, Jack, is there a net tonight?
Yeah, the digital learning net is on SkyHub Link at 7 o'clock. Oh, what the heck time is it? That clock quit working.
6:40.
Yeah, and it's been a long day, so I don't even know what the heck time it is. It's okay, 20 till
Okay.
7. So yeah, it's 7 o'clock.
Okay, well, I'll be in the meeting. I'll miss that tonight. Oh, well. Catch you next week.
Next time.
There's a lot of things that happen on these Wednesday nights. One of the guys up in Netherlands wants to join our meeting. He's like, yeah, I got other obligations on Wednesday nights. I'm like, well, we haven't recorded on YouTube. So, which, by the way, you don't have a problem with us recording your presentation, do you, Jack?
I'm sorry, ask that question again.
You don't have a problem with us recording your presentation?
No, not at all. That's great.
Okay, because we put our presentations up on YouTube so people get a chance to see them.
You have an echo online.
Yeah, if you'll
Somebody's got an echo.
Yeah.
If you guys will send me somebody's got an echo feeding back. If you guys will send me a link to that, I'll put it out over the SkyHub link email list.
You got it, sir. And are you getting any of our emails now, Jack, for SkyHub?
Well, I mean, I've gotten I know I've gotten emails from Steve, but other than that, I don't think so. So
Okay.
if you want to put me on your list, please do.
Yeah, because would you be a good contact? Because also we're having our LARC Fest in April. So,
Yep, and we would be happy to announce that unless unless you guys ever want to put your repeater or one of them on SkyHub link when it would get announced there too. So yeah.
Okay. So I'll send you an email as well with the information for LARC Fest, and you guys are welcome to come out and join us on April 2nd.
Awesome.
Hey, Jack. Hey, Chuck, can Jack get a copy of the splatter? Is he?
Yeah, I'll add
eligible
to the
do
email
that?
list.
There's a whole bunch of stuff in there, Jack, for club activities and stuff. So,
They have filters for that. Let's see. I see a few smiles. Oh, okay, I'll take that.
Hey, Jack, I'm already a member of, I'm already getting the SkyHub email list. So if you want, I can forward you this month's splatter if you'd like. I can go ahead and email you the this month's splatter if you'd like.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Let's see.
I just sent out 700 emails earlier, and I'm going through them for LARC Fest. So
Good level of interest there.
just a little bit. And I'm trying to pick up interest.
Kelsey Harmon is going to advertise on Times Call, Chuck, tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you.
How's everybody this evening?
I'm pretty good. How
Hey,
you
thank
doing?
Great.
This night in Arizona was about 85 today, sunny.
It made up about 56 here today. Now it's going to be down to 30s and snowing.
I don't think Longmont's supposed to get that much snow. At least I hope we don't.
Yeah, we're not supposed to, but
I got my skis out.
Yeah,
Longmont had a winter storm warning this morning. Did that disappear?
yeah, it's more of an advisory right now. We're not going to get as much snow as like Boulder in the mountains. So
last I saw, I think all the snow is supposed to go down south,
Yeah.
and on the western side.
Yeah, I'll probably end up having to shovel 5 or 6 inches. So, just the way it goes.
Lots of flowers in bloom here. Some of the shrubs in bloom.
it was nice earlier this week. It got almost to 70 one day last week. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, I think it was almost 80.
Is it nice and green yet?
My
Not
snow just
yet.
melted.
Not enough rain, Pat.
We'll be home in a couple weeks. Back to reality, I guess.
You gonna make it for the LARC Fest?
KECV
Outlook. I don't know, maybe. Pam fell and broke her hip 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
You're saying that, yeah.
So she's doing really very well. So I'll just have to see. You guys decided to do that pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was one of those Boulder County lifted a lot of restrictions, so we're gonna do this. And so that's why me and Dick have been like running around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to make sure we get things emailed and all that stuff.
Yeah. What's John Einberger's call sign? I don't remember.
Is he on mute, Pat?
Nope, he's not there. That's the problem. How are you doing, Steve?
Doing good.
That's good.
Good news from the urologist. Kind of pacing right now with activities.
Yep. The older we get, the harder it is to recover.
Well, they got the blockage figured out. They did the surgery on that about a month ago. And since then, haven't had a catheter for 3 weeks. So yeah, it's all positive right now.
That's good.
Thanks for asking.
How are you doing, Chuck? You're talking to somebody on the phone. That's what you're doing. How's Mark doing? Yeah, that Mark.
You always catch me when I've got a mouthful. No, I'm doing well.
That's all right. I got a mouthful of wine. You know me.
Oh yeah, I know you. No, I'm just trying to work on a few projects and playing with a little VAR IFM and VAR HF and procrastinating on other things that I need to do, I guess.
I'm anxious to get back and crank up HF. I didn't bring an HF rig here. It's too hard to put up an antenna.
You just go out and get yourself a roll of wire and do a little midnight planning.
Yeah, you have to do that around here. Although there's nobody in the house behind us, so it actually probably would have worked.
Hey, Pat, are you going to catch any of the spring training games while you're down there in Arizona?
The spring training?
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's over in Phoenix. We're not going to make it.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. We have in the past.
Yeah, looks like the Rockies might hopefully will be decent this year. They acquired a couple of decent players.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we have friends in Scottsdale. We usually go visit because of my wife's accident. That's not going to happen this year. But they're not very far from the Rockies spring training stadium.
Yeah. That's a beautiful facility.
Yeah, it is.
The Dodgers play there in Arizona too?
Well, I think so.
Yeah,
The
they were.
Diamondbacks?
Yeah, the Dodgers moved to Glendale from Florida a couple of years ago, and the Diamondbacks are still down in Tucson. Oh, wait a minute! No, I take that back. The Diamondbacks and the Rockies share facility in Scottsdale.
Yeah, nobody's in Tucson anymore. Used to be. Rockies used to be here.
I thought the White Sox still were.
I don't think so. I don't think there's anybody here.
Huh?
At least there's nothing on the news or anything.
Yeah. But they may have moved to Florida.
Yeah, I don't know where they moved. Yeah, they used to. They have a nice stadium here, but it's just one. So
Yeah.
Tucson's a smaller market, considerably smaller than Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I had actually a gentleman calling me from Fort Collins who thought we were meeting in person tonight. So he's sitting at 350 Terry Street. And I'm like, yeah, nobody's there. Sorry.
Oops.
He's in Newer Ham. And he came from Fort Collins. I'm like, Paul, it'd probably be easier if you just, you're going to have a hard time hitting our repeaters from Fort Collins with a little HT. And so I kind of direct him to NCART's website and, use their assets, and he'll get a better, get on the air and be talking and things like that. So I don't mind sharing the wealth with other clubs. That's one thing we do, Jack, here is, I've been trying to work with all the local clubs and figure out how we can help each other out. And me and Joe up in NCART's got a great working relationship. So.
Yep, that's the way it should be. That's what ham radio is all about.
Yeah.
Part of what I'm going to speak about.
Yeah, when I got in, I've been doing ham about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years, and became a president. This is my second year. I saw there's a lot of siloing when it comes to clubs here in Colorado. And I know Jeff Ryan is trying to eliminate some of that as well through ARL.
Mm-hmm.
I started that by handing the olive branch to different clubs. And like I said, me and Joe's got together, our clubs have shared information and went to their picnic. They came to our park, our day in the park event, things like that. Netherlands Club, Indian Peaks is starting to grow, and we're working with them as well on some stuff. So it's good to build these relationships and get these groups together. And of course, we got Mark N7 CTM, who's part of RM Ham as well, who's helped build that relationship. RM Ham, Cole Kahn, I mean, everybody. Unfortunately, I'm becoming a household name when it comes to clubs.
Well, that's not a bad way to be. It's very important to me personally, and what SkyHub Link is one of the tenets that it's founded on is that first of all, it's only ham radio, guys. Second of all, we're here to help each other and to be friends and to be open and to be welcoming. And we've got to welcome new hams into the hobby. And if they hear a bunch of old farts sitting on a repeater, not talking to them and not, acknowledging their calls, and it being a good old boys club and everything, and, wanting their repeaters to be silent so they can use them. Well, then, if you want to monitor silence, guys, then, you can do that without a radio. So
look at a scanner.
Yeah. Exactly. So all of that, each one of us needs to really take it personally that, we're going to do everything that we can to represent the amateur radio community and to, be a good steward, not only of the frequencies that we have, but of each other, new hams, to be the real true spirit of amateur radio. And so I could go on, as you can tell, I can go on and on about that.
Yeah, and when I got in, that was just one of my things that just kind of irked me about some of these other clubs and stuff. And I think since then it's definitely gotten better over the last couple of years. I think people are starting to realize, this club has something I could help, that would help me, and I've got something that can help them, and all kinds of different vice versas. And it just makes sense to work together.
Yeah, and that's what another thing that's super important with SkyHub Link. We're not a club. We are at least in the beginnings of an organization. We're working on our 501c3, but we want to bring a lot of clubs together and want to, of course, utilize a lot of repeaters that otherwise are not being used hardly at all, if any. And we're all here to help each other out. And I tell, and we run these little voice announcements on SkyHub Link once an hour. And, one of the very important things is that, where the SkyHub Link is yours. Whoever wants to get on it, you have a say. We ask our email list for opinions and things on an occasion. And, we want everybody to feel like they're a part of it and not going to be excluded in any form, shape, or manner. It's not mine. It's not Skylar's. It's not, you know, so-and-so's that owns another certain set of repeaters, it belongs to everybody.
Right.
I think the, my limited experience is the Wyoming clubs are a little closer together. Of course, there are many fewer of them, so, and we're much more spread out up here in Wyoming, but they seem really good people. The Sweetwater Club is helping us plan the division conference next October. So that's good. We got to get that on your schedule. October, what, 7th, 8th, and 9th, or 8, 9, and 10?
Yeah, it's already on my schedule.
Good.
I volunteered to be a speaker up there, so I haven't heard anything back yet.
No, Bob hasn't gotten back with you. I'll bug you.
Well, he said something about around June, April, May, June timeframe. They're going to start being more in stone and getting back to people at forums. So
Where's
Yeah,
the
well-
Sweetwater Club located?
It's in Rock Springs.
Rock Springs, okay.
It's Sweetwater County. That's where it comes from. Rock Springs only has about 17,000 people, so you know. The towns up here in Wyoming are smaller.
I would ask if you don't have your call sign next to your name, if you could do that, please. That would make Pat's life a little bit easier when.
Yeah,
Making
Mike R.
notes.
I don't know Mike R. Do I?
Yes, you do.
Do I do?
Yeah, W0KKI.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay.
My co-chair. I'm trying to
That's
teach him to
right.
lead by example.
That
I know he's
Mike.
driving too, so.
Sorry.
Pat, how's Pam
Hey,
doing?
you in Arizona? Or are you back in Wyoming?
No, we're still in Green Valley. We're gonna drive back in a couple weeks. Well, I'm driving back. Pam broke her hip, so she's fine.
Pat, how's Pam doing?
She's doing really well, Don. Thanks for asking. She's
Good.
been out walking and probably walked at least a quarter of a mile today.
We're good.
Okay, well, tell her hi for suing me.
I sure will, yeah. So we saw the surgeon on Monday and he said, everything's good.
That's
Just
great.
Keep on doing it. Don't overdo it. You know me.
How did she fall?
Oh, she just stepped off a step and missed the step and, you know, it just happens.
Okay, she wasn't on a bike or anything.
No, she was, our son Scott and our daughter-in-law Mariah were renting a house in Tucson. We were visiting, so Pam was going out in the backyard and there was a 4-inch step and she just stepped off of it. So it happens.
Yeah, well, it's too bad, but I'm glad she's getting along so well. That's great.
Yeah, she's gonna fully recover, so.
Super.